Hey guys, how are you? The year is 2017, month of March, almost April, and I'm still ranting about what I made, and for a very good reason. If you remember my previous review, which I've done about half a year ago, I did it on this device, but at that time it looked much prettier. In the meantime, I kinda lost my temper at the office, flung it against a wall, and I broke it. However, even though I broke it, and as you can see, it was a one-hit wonder though. Um, for the next 5 days, there was Homer Simpson screaming out of my phone because I was playing Simpsons Tapped Out, and the notifications were still coming. So even though there was nothing on the display, the motherboard was still alive, power was on, and it was on for another 5 or 6 days. So I was in need of another phone. However, living in China, it's fairly difficult to find a proper phone that will let you use your Google account. So you kind of have to work around those things, and I opted out for a Sony Z5 Compact, which was a terrible choice because the Snapdragon 810 in that was overheating so much that video games wouldn't work, the frames would drop, and I would get throttling. So I went on Taobao, which is a Chinese equivalent of Amazon, and got me a LG G3 old device. It was about 120 bucks. Everything was good, but not as good because of LG G3's QHD display, which, well, at this particular point is a huge problem. The games were choppy, I was getting like 10 to 15 frames, Asphalt 8 wasn't working, Spider-Man Unlimited wasn't working, and I was unhappy with the phone. So, after switching through a few phones, I decided to go with the old faithful here, and I actually managed to get a brand new one. Oops, sorry for that. So, what's the whole point? Some store managed to get the old stock from Verizon. This is the American version. I got it brand new, out of the box, wrapped in foils, original equipment with it, the headphones, the charger. Actually, I got the quick charger and so on and so forth. And the problem was that it came with stock 4.4.4 KitKat. Now, when you're outside of the United States and you have a Verizon phone, it is impossible to get over-the-air update. And don't get me wrong, the stock 4.4.4 Android was working fine. It's just that, you get Sense 6 with it, I think. And it's not as pretty, it's not as fluent, and there are some things that Marshmallow brings that are just more user-friendly. So I had to go through the process of getting custom ROM. Yeah. I tried to get the 7.1.1. I'm not gonna tell you which developer I chose, but it was a horrible experience, not because the ROM was done poorly, it was done great. And if we're talking about, using your phone for phones and phone calls, messages, and so on, it works fine. But the moment you start playing video games, it's just too throttled. It uses too much RAM. So 7.1.1 was not a good option. And there were no boom speakers. So then I reverted to my stock 4.4.4, one which was backed up. I was searching, and then I found the S-Team ROM Marshmallow 6.0 with Dolby Atmos, boom sound support, and Sense 8. And now for the phone itself. As you know, build quality still premium. 2017, this phone came out in 2013, 4 years after. Very few phones out there that are brand new can even come close to this. 90% aluminum, 5-inch display. It's just amazing. It feels premium in the hand. It's thin. It feels elegant. Its ergonomics are awesome. So yeah. Hardware you already know. Snapdragon 801, 2 GB of RAM, 5-inch IPS LCD display, Adreno 330 GPU inside, and so on and so forth. 4 ultra pixel camera, 5 megapixel selfie, wide angle camera, and so on. Is it a good phone? Yeah. It's an amazing phone. It's an awesome phone. And with this software, it comes like it's as best as it could possibly be. It does everything. I keep arguing that the new phones have nothing else to offer because technically they don't. This phone will offer everything that a new $700 smartphone will at a much cheaper price. Because I agree that the newer phones have awesome specs and that's all fine and dandy on paper, but the bottom line is the end user experience, and there is nothing that this phone cannot do. Phone calls, day-to-day use, browsing, perfect. I will show you the battery because I deliberately did not charge it overnight. So what's the point? Right now it has 53%. If you look at it, this is from 10 o'clock in the morning yesterday. It kept going down. The significant drop here is when I played Asphalt 8 for about some half an hour or so. And then I used the quick charge to get it up to some 80%. The flat line you see here is standby mode overnight, so technically lost like 2, maybe 3%. The battery performance is effing amazing, and there is nothing that a newer generation phone can do better than this. Right now it's at 53%. It has a lot of battery optimization, and with this with this custom ROM, you get smart battery too, which lets you choose which apps sleep, which apps don't sleep, what you can use in the background, and it's an awesome experience. That's for the phone itself and everyday usage. As with every single review I do, I'm gonna do some gaming with Asphalt 8, but I gotta turn VPN on first because Chinese internet would not allow me to access my Google account. Living in China is very difficult when it comes to the internet. Yeah, there we go. Asphalt 8. I use this game in particular because, well, it's one of the most demanding games out there. There is also Implosion, maybe a few others, but this is the one I keep playing year in, year out. So it's very demanding. Now I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit. Yeah, there are some things that I still didn't manage to download. Normally I would play at very low settings because I play a lot of competitive gameplay, but here I'm not gonna do that because I want to show you what this game can do at its very demanding. In order to do that, however, I actually have to find a suitable track for an S-Class or A-Class car because they're the fastest one, which means that the frames will be most demanding. Let's try this one. And as I keep saying in every single video, this is about showing you the performance of the phone, so please do not focus on my driving so much. It's not gonna be that good right now. Just so that you can hear me, I'm gonna turn the volume down. The game is set, as you can see, like high graphics, as high as it can be. S-Class car, which means the frames will have to change rapidly fast. I'm using my McLaren F1, and as you can see, it's handling it perfectly. It's not dropping frames, there's no stuttering, there's no lagging controls. There is nothing bad about this phone. It's a 4-year-old phone. It's keeping up with one of the most demanding games you can find at the Play Store. And I'm not really sure after this, why would anybody want to buy something of a newer generation and spend $600 or $700 for a phone if a phone like this can handle everything you throw at it. And yeah, I admit that the newer phones maybe have a few perks here and there if you need something very specific, which does not really come to my mind right now, but let's say you want to get the updates first and so on, so you're gonna go for Google Pixel, or if you want to do pro photography with a smartphone, you're gonna go for Samsung S7 Edge or S8, which is to come out in about a month or so. But yeah, if you're in for normal things, this is what you're gonna be looking for. Now, since this is not a gaming review, I'm gonna, yeah. As you can see, the phone is performing exceptionally snappy. Well, I'm filming this with my Z3 compact. I'm not really sure how fast it's gonna show, but this is excruciatingly snappy. Like, there's no lag, there's nothing. Now, the other feature of this phone I want to address is the Dolby Atmos. I encountered this plugin on my ZTA Axon 7 and I was amazed. What this does is provides a certain amount of customization when it comes to your sound, and it brings out the best possible sound I have ever heard in my headphones. I do suggest, however, turning it off if you're doing heavy gaming, because the Dolby Atmos plugin will eat some of your CPU. It's not that noticeable, but it's still noticeable a little bit. Other than that, I'm also playing Alto Spider-Man Unlimited, but it's handling them way better than Asphalt 8, because Asphalt 8 is much more demanding. Like I said, as for the sound when it comes out of the speakers, I mean, I can show you, but the speakers itself will not do justice, because like I said, recording this on smartphone camera, it cannot catch the quality of the sound, but trust me, it's awesome if you're kicking out with friends in a park or anywhere else. You will play it, it will sound awesome. Kick back, with whether you're on your balcony or in the kitchen, cooking or whatever it is that you do need background music, it works like a charm. Now, another feature of this phone and this ROM is the camera. Now, what does that mean? First of all, the camera is not fabulous. It really isn't. What I like about it is that depending on where you click, it's gonna let a certain amount of light in to catch the best possible image. That means that, as you can see, it's snappy. It catches. Yeah. The lens cover is big, which means that it lets in a huge amount of light, and this is why it can manipulate pictures so good. There is also HDR, also works perfectly fine. Now, one feature of this ROM is slow motion, and believe it or not, there are not many phones out there that can catch slow motion. I thought it was a gimmick, I thought it would not work good, but we went to play basketball a few times. We recorded some dunks, some layups, and you're gonna record in normal mode and it's gonna keep slowing it down. So just to show you quickly what it does, as you can see, it's actually slow-mo and it's pretty damn good. Like, this ROM keeps amazing me. I'm not usually an admirer of custom ROMs because the developers usually do a very poor job of optimizing. But this team, like, they did a really, really good job on that. As for the selfie camera, it still utilizes the, yeah, ugly me. It still utilizes the 5 megapixel wide-angle selfie camera, and this is my old Z3 compact, which I'm using to record this. So we covered the sound, the hardware, the gaming, the camera, battery life. Technically, that's it, more or less. It's an awesome phone, like 2017, 4-year-old device with this ROM revamped completely. I did, as for the sound, I did the headphone test, and I didnh use the high-end or even mid-range headphones because not many people can afford that, and even if they can, they're not gonna spend $1,000 on a headset. I used my old Sony XP450, and I used the stock headphones you get with the Samsung Galaxy S3. These are pretty low headphones, and the sound coming out of this with the Dolby Atmos plugin is amazing. You still get the full Sense support. It's Sense 8. Here you can see yeah, sorry, there you go. Android 6.0.1 Team software number. Just awesome. It's amazing. Like, this is a 4-year-old device. You can get it off of Taobao or Amazon for 100, let's say $150. The display is amazing. It does everything you would want out of a phone, and it does it flawlessly, and it's ridiculous. Like, this is brand new. Battery life, awesome. Quality, build quality, camera, audio, performance, gaming, like, it covers everything. Like, there is nothing this phone will not do. I tried other devices out there. I'm not gonna pay $700 for a smartphone if I can pay $100, $150 and get this, because it does everything. Like, why would you do that? If you're actually thinking between getting a, I don't know, a newer, modern, mid-range device and an older Snapdragon 801 device, go for this, because the mid-range device from 2016 or 2017 cannot do half of the stuff this phone can. It's ridiculous, but this is logic and reason. You will not go wrong with this phone. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. I will try to answer as soon as possible. If I didn't cover anything, I'm sorry, but I was trying to keep it short, and we're still at 17 minutes. So, I don't know. Have fun. Enjoy.